Well, clearly nothing is not doing, well, nothing. We're up to the third major release from the company, which is actually a second audio product. One that actually takes a slightly lesser approach in capability, but furthers the company's commitment to lovely design. And honestly, I haven't been able to keep one out of my ears. It's great to see you all. Thank you for coming to hang out with me today, and it's Joshua Vergara. What's going on, everybody? Here's what worked and what didn't with the Nothing Ear Stick. I actually really adored the Nothing Ear 1. I never did a video on them, so you'll be hearing about them quite a bit in this video. After all, the Nothing Ear 1 was the company's original coming out party, and the design was their calling card. This one has a larger case, the magnet bases for the earbuds, and even wireless charging. And what caught eyes was the transparent design that wasn't just a look inside the hardware, but was a meticulously created aesthetic within. That same commitment to the transparent look returns in the Nothing Ear Stick, but this time the fundamental hardware from the buds to the case is actually different. The word stick is obviously the focus here, as this tube is a bit like a fat piece of lipstick or maybe a roll of quarters. Instead of opening, the ear stick has a red portion on one side that is what rolls the inner portion of the cylinder around to provide access to the earbuds themselves. This red area also has the button to trigger pairing and the USB-C charging port, which is what you're going to rely upon because I guess wireless charging just couldn't fit anywhere here. And on the topic of battery life, these earbuds are rated for 7 hours out of the case, but I feel like I get closer to like 6. The magnets for the earbuds are nice and strong, which is reassuring because trying to maneuver around the case does require a little bit of focus. I once tried to take an earbud out with one hand, but when I did the rotation, I just dropped everything. So for those with butterfingers, the strong magnets and the fact that this isn't a traditionally opening case means that if you do drop the whole setup, the earbuds actually won't go tumbling out. If good form is a given, I'll give the ear stick design a point for function as well. I remember when the ear stick were first teased, I thought it was just going to be the ear 1, but with a different kind of charging case. But the earbuds themselves are pretty different too. Gone are the silicone tips in favor of an open audio design that is familiar but still kind of unique since the sound grills are smoothly baked into the shape of the buds. Now, I get if this is immediately a turnoff for some of you because earbuds that many audio enthusiasts like to tend toward are the in-ear design. But while I do basically agree, I've learned a lot recently that open design audio products definitely have their place. And that place is in my ear for most of my daily grind. Maybe it's because I got into like the Sony Link Buds a while back and that opened my mind up to the possibility of a hearable category of audio products, but I've become quite accustomed to just having something in my ear a lot of the time so that podcasts, music, YouTube, and audio prompts are always there. And that can only really be the case if the earbuds just don't get in the way of everything else. So something like the ear stick makes sense because the open design doesn't plug up my ears to block out the outside world. Sure, there's something that I'm always feeling, something I'm always aware is in my ear, but I basically never have to do this whole move when there's just one in my ears. I'm more than comfortable to just have one in and hear everything around me without having to take the earbud out. And of course, it's a plus that either of the ear stick can be used independently. So overall, they're really comfortable, and the stem helps to anchor the earbuds down, making them easy to leave in without worrying about them slipping out. I did my best to keep the parentheses motif in the titles, but it got difficult to make it happen for every single header. Before we move on though, I do have a sponsor for this video, so let's just go ahead and pop it over to there. This portion of the video is sponsored by Narwal. Get your surroundings clean without having to put in all of the work yourself, thanks to Narwal and their brand new smart robot mopping vacuum, the Freo. The Narwal Freo brings some sleek looks from the vacuum to the base station, making it a nice decorative piece in the home or office. But the base provides a lot of functionality. Aside from being the base station and charging the Freo robot vacuum, there are tanks inside that hold clean water which is used to wet the Freo's mopping pads. And after a mopping cycle, the base will then clean the mopping pads and collect all of that dirty water in its own tank. This makes mopping floors a breeze. I barely mop, especially in my office, so having it automated like this is a game changer. This is all on top of the vacuum's general cleaning abilities, which allow it to easily traverse carpets and map the rooms of the house thanks to its radar and various sensors. And all of this is controlled via a handy touchscreen interface found right on the base, where multiple cleaning modes can be selected: vacuuming, mopping, combinations of the two. And then there's the Freo mode, in which it will just detect on its own how to best tackle debris, carpet, and even corners of the room that could be otherwise blind spots for most people. The Freo swings around at those corners so that it can catch with its side brushes any dust or debris that might be tucked in there. All of this comes together to make the Narwal Freo a great companion to keep the whole house nice and clean, with very little work needed on my part. This brand new release from Narwal is available now, and I've left links in the description and in the pinned comment below for you to check it out for yourself. Cleaning and mopping gets smarter and easier thanks to the Narwal Freo, and again, thanks to Narwal for sponsoring this portion of the video. Now, I mentioned the stem, which again has the nice design that Nothing is going for, with a transparent shell that lets you look inside. As other creators have pointed out, making this look good is a meticulous endeavor because all of the bits and pieces inside have to be exact, rather than just bunched in and glued together because they would be covered by a colored shell anyway. And honestly, the cool factor of something like this is really hard to pass up. From the special case to the transparent plastic, the Nothing Ear Stick are just begging to be the thing that you bring out and show off. So it's great that the stem is as functional as it is stylish. That was the case with the Nothing Ear 1. When you have the Ear 1 in, you have of course that seal from the silicone tip, but taps on the outer portion were for playlist control, and then there were swipes for volume control. But this time, in the Ear Stick, it's all about pinches. Volume control actually remains though, because combinations of pinches and holds can be set to that, like pinch and hold right now to be able to lower the volume, and then I can do a double pinch and hold in order to raise the volume. And that's what makes either of these earbuds easy to keep in, because I have all the control needed while never requiring taking out the phone or removing the earbud. I go back and forth about whether or not pinches or touches are my preferred control method, but the bottom line is that it's great that both of the Nothing Ear products have the full suite of controls. So we can finally talk about sound, the part of the Nothing Ear Stick that might make or break them for you. I've already mentioned it, so let's say it plainly. Without the in-ear design, the sound experience is very different and far less satisfying in the lower frequencies. This design here just means far less bumping bass, making things like EDM and hip-hop songs less immersive. What I will say is that the lower to mid tones are still quite good, to the point that there's plenty of resonance in people's voices, so audiobooks, podcasts, as a result, they're all still very good. And the higher frequencies aren't particularly exciting, but that's also because the natural ambient bleed of an open earbud just cuts into the soundstage as a whole. What we have to remember though is that sound quality is different from sound experience. Just because these are not in-ear earbuds doesn't mean that they don't have good sound. I find myself really enjoying the experience from the Ear Stick. It's more than enough for me when the whole point is just to have audio readily available, and for that purpose, I think the Ear Sticks sound pretty dang good. But then when I want to immerse or actually block out the world or just be in my tunes, that's when in-ear earbuds like the Nothing Ear 1 or full headphones come into play. Simply, there are different audio products for different use cases, and the Ear Stick work for something different than the Ear 1. If you really want a point of comparison, the Ear 1s are like AirPods, while the Ear Stick are like EarPods. Wireless earpods, but you get my drift. Now, with all that being said, I do have to mention that the lack of sound modes means that customizing the sound experience is simply not much of a thing. I wouldn't really expect open earbuds like this to have ANC because, well, when I have both of them in, I can hear everything still, but that is a detail worth noting. One thing that would have been cool to have is a transparency mode to complement the already comfortable level of ambient bleeding though. The app provides some options for customizing the EQ, but I just find myself hitting that bass boost so that I can have as much bass as possible. Oh, and when it comes to the built-in mics, here is how they sound. I have both of the earbuds in right now, and obviously I am recording them to an external recorder on my laptop, but this is how it sounds from that scenario. Now, Nothing have tried to prioritize voice and voice calling here, but the problem is that I've actually had complaints from people that I'm calling that they can't hear me very clearly. I don't know if it's because the talk audio is too low for calling or because it has something to do with like network connectivity, because there are many factors, but that was just my experience. So with all that might be missing compared to other earbuds, the Nothing Ear Stick could be considered lacking. But at its $100 price point, these are more like an entry-level earbud. There are earbuds that are around $100 that are in-ear designed and might have more features, but I'd go as far as to say that they're not nearly as thoughtfully designed, as cool, and even maybe sound as good as the Nothing Ear Stick. With all of the hype aside, I have to give Nothing a lot of credit for creating a very recognizable identity in their current products that makes them stand out, and it just so happens that their products are actually quite good. But that's where things actually get a little complicated. I said at the beginning of the video that I actually adore the Nothing Ear 1. I think they sound great and provide a more than decent immersive sound experience to boot. Even on a recent trip, I found myself bringing both ear sets so that when I was walking about, I had the Ear Stick to accompany me, but when it was flight time, I had the Ear 1 to isolate me better from the loud environs of the plane. Here's the thing though, the Nothing Ear 1s were fantastic, particularly because they were priced so competitively. At $99, they were practically a steal. Well, the Nothing Ear Stick introduced the company's entry-level audio device, and because they have been priced at $99, the Ear 1 had to get hiked up to $149. That is a bummer, but I kind of get it. See, now both sets of earbuds are appropriately priced, but that comes after the Ear 1 used to be aggressively affordable, and all because the Ear Stick was made to build out the overall portfolio. Ultimately though, I did thoroughly enjoy my time with the Nothing Ear 1 and with the Nothing Ear Stick. They are actually ones that I have ready and I usually reach for them. The company deserves a lot of credit for prioritizing a cool factor while providing a good enough experience that gives them plenty of staying power. And in my case, they both definitely stick around. For more on audio products like the Nothing Ear Stick and beyond in the world of tech, subscribe to my channel. Thanks again to the sponsor of this video, Narwal, and check out their Freo Smart Vacuum in the links in the description and in the pinned comment below. But from there, I'm going to go ahead and call it on this one. Thank you so much for hanging out with me again today. Please take care of yourselves and each other, and enjoy your tea, everybody.